11 signs that our economic problems are accelerating a lot faster than most people were anticipating, Michael Snyder reports. A lot of the experts, quote unquote, have been telling us that economic conditions are likely to really start deteriorating later this year. But here we are in June, and the economy is beginning to unravel a lot quicker than most of them had anticipated. The housing bubble is imploding. Existing home sales are plunging all over the nation. Foreclosures are surging. Manufacturing numbers have fallen into contraction territory, and jobless claims are rising. We're building up a tremendous amount of momentum in the wrong direction, and just about everyone agrees that the outlook for the remainder of 2023 is not promising. So if things are this bad now, what will they look like in 6 months? For a long time, the U.S. economy was remarkably resilient, but now things have started to change in another way. The following are 11 signs that our economic problems are accelerating a lot faster than most people were anticipating. Number 1, we just learned that foreclosure-related filings were up 14% last month compared to the same period a year ago. As the cost of living in the U.S. continues to climb, foreclosures are also on the rise. May foreclosure-related filings, which include default notices, scheduled auctions, and bank repossessions, were up 7% from April and up 14% from a year ago to 35,196 properties, according to the real estate data group Atom. And number 2, we're being warned that foreclosure filings are on an upward trajectory, which suggests heightened activity in the months ahead. The recent increase in foreclosure filings nationwide indicates a trend that has been observed throughout the year and what we have expected to occur. Robert Barber, Atom's CEO, said in a statement. He said this upward trajectory suggests the possibility of continued heightened activity, and with foreclosures completions seeing the largest monthly increase this year, we will continue to monitor the potential impacts this may have on the housing market. Number 3, as the housing bubble bursts, sales of existing homes are falling all over the nation. For example, sales of existing homes in central Indiana have now declined for 16 months in a row. Sales of existing homes in the central Indiana dropped 14.8% in May, the 16th straight month that sales have decreased on a year-over-year basis. Closed sales of existing homes in the 16-country area in May totaled 2,901, down from 3,406 in the same month of 2022, according to the latest monthly data from the Mybor Realtor Association. Number 4, one recent study found that a whopping 8 million Americans currently live in a household that is being behind on paying the rent. Many are just barely surviving from month to month, like this single mother that was recently profiled in the Los Angeles Times. Evelyn Arceo holds down a full-time job as a baker at Universal Studios Hollywood, earning $19 an hour. But even when she gets a few hours of overtime at the theme park, the single mother of 4 can barely afford the rent for her one-bedroom apartment in Panorama City. On her salary, buying a home is out of the question. Already her monthly rent is $1,300 is just too expensive at this point, Arceo said, with late fees of $40 to $50 compounding her financial plight. I don't think I've ever been on time on my rent, she said. Number 5, the most epic commercial real estate crisis in U.S. history has begun, and we are being warned that the 2 massive defaults in San Francisco that recently made headlines all over the world could just be the tip of the iceberg. News of Park Hotels and Resorts' plan to surrender ownership of 2 of San Francisco's largest hotels is the beginning of what could potentially become a mass exodus of hotels from the city, as 30 additional properties are facing massive loans due over the next 2 years. The company behind the hotels announced Monday it had stopped making payments on its $725 million loan that is due in November for the Hilton San Francisco Union Square and Park 55 hotels. Number 6, major corporate bankruptcies are happening at the fastest pace that we have seen since 2010. U.S. corporate bankruptcies crept higher in May over the prior months as higher interest rates and a slowing economy are pushing many companies over the edge. S&P Global Market Intelligence recorded 54 corporate bankruptcy filings during May, a slight rise from 52 in April. In the first 5 months of the year, 2023 has recorded more filings than any other comparable period since 2010. Number 7. Initial jobless claims rose to their highest level in almost 2 years. Initial jobless claims surged last week to 261,000, up from 233,000 prior and well above 235,000 expected, its highest since October 2021. Number 8. According to Challenger Gray and Christmas, during the first 5 months of this year, a number of announced job cuts was up 315% compared to the same 5 months last year. Number 9. U.S. manufacturing has now fallen into contraction territory. S&P Global data showed that the U.S. manufacturing sector fell into contraction territory in May. A similar survey released by the Institute for Supply Management showed the industry contracted for the 7th consecutive month in May at a faster pace than in the prior month. Number 10. European manufacturing has also dropped into contraction territory. Among manufacturers in the Eurozone, production, new orders, and backlogs all fell in May as the sector contracted at a faster pace than that month, according to S&P Global figures. The 20-nation currency area industrial production fell sharply in March, mostly due to a plunge in Ireland. The indicator measures the output of manufacturers, miners, and utility companies. Number 11. It's being reported that new numbers show that the EU entered a recession in the first quarter of this year. The Eurozone entered a recession in the first quarter of this year, and economists are not optimistic for the coming months. The 20-member bloc reported gross domestic product of minus 0.1% for the first quarter, according to revised estimates from the region's statistical office Eurostat released on Thursday. What I've just shared with you is certainly quite a bit of bad news, but if I'm correct, conditions will continue to deteriorate throughout the rest of this year and into 2024. We live at such a critical moment in human history, and those that have been waiting for life to return to normal can stop waiting. The pace of change is picking up speed with each passing month, and most of us are simply not prepared for the craziness that's ahead. This is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of my articles. I have published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.